I get discovered by Sports Illustrated Swimsuit, which still is crazy for me to even say, on Instagram. I owe Meta my life, I feel like, at this point.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Forbes Top Creator Show. I'm host Steve Bertoni. I'm here with creator, comedian, fashion model, sometime red carpet expert interviewer, Haley Bailey.
You made me sound way cooler than I am. Thank you for that.
That's my job. I'm pumping you up.
I need you to follow me around all the time. Tell people that.
So thanks for joining us.
Of course. Thank you for having me. Anytime Forbes calls me, I'm there. I'll hold the light. I don't care.
Your name's Haley Kalil.
It is.
But how'd you come up with Haley Bailey?
So a lot of people don't know this, and they think it's my real name, which is why I use it as my real name. I use it interchangeably. I actually use it more than Haley Kalil. My dad, growing up, called me Haley Bailey because my middle name is B. Not the letter B, not like B like bzz. B like BEA. Doesn't stand for Beatrice, just B.
Okay, cool.
So when I was making an Instagram back when, I think like 2016, back when like Instagram was popping, I didn't have any followers. I was looking for a username. Haley Bailey, the way I spell it, wasn't there. So then I added another Y. That one still wasn't available. Then I added another E and I was like, oh, that one's available. Never thinking I'd be a content creator. That's why my username is so confusing. Tons of Y's, tons of E's.
Like your stage name, it definitely works.
It really is, yeah. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, guys, because everyone's like, is there an I? Is there a Y? I'm like, there's a million different letters. Just type in Haley something and it should pop up, hopefully.
Awesome. It works. Let's talk about, the origins, the beginning of your creator career. Well, before that, you were in pageants, you were in modeling. Like, tell me about your career.
Yeah. Oh, man. It started almost out of the blue. I never really thought I would be a content creator. Obviously, I idolized Jenna Marbles. That was like my girl. I watched her religiously.
Old school, like pioneer.
Yes. Like I'm talking from her first video where she said like how to trick people into thinking you're attractive, where she cries over her college degree. Like she had me hooked from then. So I was an avid Jenna Marbles watcher, but I never really thought I would know how to do it. I could ever learn how to film, edit. So I always wanted, my dream that I didn't tell my parents because they're mechanical engineers, was to be on Saturday Night Live. But of course that didn't pan out. So I went to school for biomedical sciences and then eventually wound up in New York for modeling. And then out of nowhere, when I was about to move home, 2 weeks before I move home, Caleb Simpson's team reaches out and was like, hey, we've seen your apartment. It looks cool. Like we've just seen the window. Can he come tour? And I was like, well, as long as he doesn't come murder me, I guess it's fine. And so I checked some sources, made sure he was safe. And he came and toured my apartment in New York. And that started my entire career in content, which is insane.
It's wild. So you didn't have, how many followers did you have before the tour?
Oh man. So before I ever moved to New York, I had no followers. It was just like family, friends. I posted pictures of my dogs. They're still on there. You can scroll all the way back and you'll find like my sepia filter dog photos. That's all I ever posted.
That's original. It's like food and dogs. That's that's early Instagram.
With like just the square and like, of course, everything had the sepia filter.
Yeah.
So then after that, I get discovered by Sports Illustrated Swimsuit, which still is crazy for me to even say, on Instagram. I owe Meta my life, I feel like, at this point. So I get discovered on Instagram and I start to model with Sports Illustrated Swimsuit because they discovered me on Instagram.
Wait, how did this work? Because you said you studied biomedical, like was that like pre-med kind of thing?
Pre-med, yep.
And you were just posting with friends and family and posting dogs.
Yep.
How did Sports Illustrated quote find you and like what do you think was the attraction?
So it was right after I graduated. They started their first ever Sports Illustrated Swimsuit open casting call. Where they said, hey, if you want to be a part of Sports Illustrated, you want to shoot for the issue, make a video and tell us why you want to be a part of it. And of course, me being like idolizing fashion, idolizing modeling, growing up in a small Minnesota town, like a stereotype, I submitted, not thinking anyone would see it. I think I had like maybe 500 followers at the time. And so I submitted the video. And then I remember getting a DM like 2 weeks later from the official Sports Illustrated Swimsuit account. And they were like, want to come to New York and meet us? So of course I said yes. And then that started my entire journey. I ended up winning the Sports Illustrated Swimsuit search with somebody else, Camille Kostek. And that started my entire modeling career. I'd never had an agent before. I'd never been a model. I'd only taken like photos at the mall, like I forget what it's called, where you like get your makeup done at the mall. That's all I had ever done. And so then I started modeling in New York. And then about 5 years into that, it was horrible on my mental health. I wasn't right for modeling. You have to be really strong mentally to go into modeling, but I did think it prepped me for what I do now.
Very cool. What kind of modeling were you doing?
Well, I started with Sports Illustrated Swimsuit. And then from there, I worked with a lot of brands. I worked with like JCPenney's, Kohl's, a lot of commercial stuff. I'm short. So everyone thinks I'm tall because I wear super tall heels on the red carpet. They're heels. They're like 6 inches because I don't want people to miss me. I'm like, you have to see me on there. But I did a bunch of different commercial modeling, but none that were like fancy editorials. I'm not tall like that, I wish.
And then how do you think, you just mentioned that you think the modeling career helped you build a creator career just through mindset and experience. Tell me how.
Yeah. Modeling was really hard. I did pageants, but I did pageants not as like a little kid. I did pageants when I was 16, 17 to pay for my school.
Okay.
So my dad made me terrified of taking out student loans. He was like, if you take those out, you'll never pay them back. And I was like, okay, well then I guess I can't do that. So pageants pay scholarship money if you win. And so I saw it on TV, I got the pamphlet in the mail, and I convinced my parents using the scholarship money part that like, hey, mom and dad, please, can I enter this? And they were like, as long as you pay for everything yourself, you do it all on your own, go ahead. So I entered, and the first year I didn't win. I was 16 at the time. I had no idea what I was doing. But I placed in the top 5, and I was like, oh, I was really close to that scholarship. So then I came back, and I ended up winning. And so that scholarship money, along with the scholarship money from when I went to Miss USA, paid for my entire college career.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to school at St. Cloud State University in Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota. Go Huskies.
I love it. And Forbes does a lot of like how to afford college articles, but I don't think pageants was one of them. So now we got a new idea. That's good.
I don't even know if they still do the scholarship element. Like I feel like I'm going to age myself. I'm 32. So back when I was doing pageants, I was like 18, and they had a big scholarship component because it was on TV. So I'm guessing they had a lot of sponsorship money, and they used that to help pay for my college career, which I'm so grateful for. I would literally not. I would probably have student loans if I hadn't have done that.
Gotcha. But how did it help your creator career in terms of mindset?
Well, I went from pageants. And that was the first time I ever really saw almost like an online scrutiny. Okay. That was really tough because you're pretty young. I mean, 16, 17, 18. That's why I feel bad for the content creators that come in now at that young age. Yeah. It's tough on your mental. And so that was the first time I was ever criticized, first on like your looks by people you don't know. I was used to being bullied at school. We all are. But like random people on the internet would comment on my body or my face.
Yeah, just 16, such a vulnerable time.
Exactly. And you're also forming your self-identity at that point. And so the things that people say about you really hit home, and you start like looking up how to change yourself. You're like, oh, they don't like my nose. You're like searching nose jobs. And so you really have to process all those emotions that you're going through. And I'm grateful that I did then. And then again, when I was in my like early 20s, 24, 25 is when I started modeling, you had an influx of it then. So it's like I was constantly almost being criticized online, which was tough on my mental, but prepared me for the criticism that you receive when you put yourself out there online in any form. And I'm really grateful for that, because I think I would have like totally combusted if I had just gone into content creation raw without that experience of like understanding that you are worth more than what people on the internet think of you.
I was gonna say, like, if you can go back, like what you've experienced now, if you can go back in time and talk to that 16-year-old about, internet hate and trolls and comments, like what advice would you give to yourself?
Don't read it. Don't read it. Don't read it. Everyone says that, and it's really hard not to. We've all read it. We have all been there. We've all been at a low moment where we're almost looking for somebody to build us up, right? We're like, please, like, I hope somebody says something nice. And it's always in those moments that people are saying nice things, but you see the one mean one. And it just tanks your whole mental. So I would say, don't read it. I know you're probably gonna at some point, but please don't read it. And also just know that they don't know you. Like they don't know you. So they're just saying things about a character in a show to them. They don't know you as a person. So they're just criticizing a character, and they don't know everything about the character. So do not take it to heart. Listen to your friends and family who know you. They're the ones that will tell you if you really have a problem.
You read it now, or do you post and ghost?
No, I don't read it. I usually read a couple of the top comments. So if the mean stuff sneaks in there, I will see it. I'm not gonna lie. I do read things, but now it doesn't hurt as bad because I'm used to it. And I also have a lot of really awesome creator friends that deal with the same thing. And I feel like when you find a group of people that also has similar experience with like the negative stuff in life, you almost form a bond and you're stronger together, because you can laugh like, oh, this person made fun of that, this person made fun of this, oh, it's fine. And it just helps. So also find friends that will really be there for you in your low moments.
Yeah, you have like a creator support group. You can compare all the trolls together.
Yes.
And I've interviewed creators that they actually have people that read their comments for them, because they can then harvest maybe ideas or inspiration, but they don't have to deal with like the personal hate. It's like it's like a stunt person to like take care of the comments.
It's smart if you're like 16, 17, 18, 19, even like 20, 21. I mean, your brain is still changing until what? You're 25, 26. So I would protect your mental. And if you need somebody to read the comments, clear out the bad ones, use hidden words, clear out the things that really would hurt you. Like if you have an insecurity with something, put that in the hidden words so that if somebody ever does say anything, it's just wiped clear of your account and you don't have to read it. But right now, because of my age and because I'm so used to seeing it, I like going through the comments myself because I want my page to always feel like mine. I never want it to feel like commercialized or like I've become a product, which I think can happen a lot of times. I want it to just be me. So I post, I edit, I film, I do everything myself. It's not a team. It's just me and my friends. Yeah.
Bouncing around here, which is good. It's a good sign of a good
ADHD.
Conversation. Yeah. Oh, me too. Yes, we can swap meds later.
Perfect.
In terms of you had this apartment tour.
Yeah.
And that changed everything.
Everything.
Tell me about this.
Yeah. So it's actually a crazy story. I was 5 years into modeling. I had just shot my last year with Sports Illustrated. I was at that point in my career where I felt like it wasn't right for me. You know, when you just have that gut feeling of like, I'm not in the right place, and you can't explain it because like I did decently well. I mean, I wasn't a top model or anything like that, but I got to check off a lot of big things on my bucket list. Yeah. Like I got a back cover of Sports Illustrated swimsuit. That's crazy. Like I never even imagined I would be in it. So I accomplished a lot, but I'm sure
you're making a lot of money and traveling to amazing, like they don't do.
Not a lot of money though.
Not a lot of money, but cool locations.
Very cool locations. Yeah. I got to travel. I got used to my schedule being a lot of like living out of a suitcase, which prepped me again for this. It's almost like things built on each other, but I didn't yet know that they would. So I was modeling, but I felt uneasy. And I also felt very insecure. I was like slipping back into an ED, which came from pageants. And I just felt like this is my time to leave or I'm going to mess my mental up. And so I had 2 weeks left on my shared apartment that I shared with my ex-husband. We had just gotten a divorce. He's still one of my close friends. Easy divorce. We shared a lawyer. Like, I'm so grateful for him. Truly, like, one of the best people I've ever met. And I was about to move home to Minnesota because I could not afford the apartment when Caleb's team reached out and we're like, hey, we've seen this window on social media. Can Caleb tour your apartment? And then I said yes, and they filmed the videos. The first time Caleb ever saw my apartment, I washed everything and I scrubbed the grout on the floor. I'm like, this place has to look spotless. And he came over and then he posted the video, I think like a week later. And within like 5 hours, it was at like 50 million views.
50 million.
And I'd never, ever in my life seen numbers like that. Like, of course I had seen it on creators pages. Like you go to Mr. Beast or Zach King, like, of course you're going to see that, but never something associated with me. And so I started seeing numbers on my videos that were on my TikTok, like go up, like viewership numbers. And these were like placeholder modeling videos. There was no like content creator videos. And I thought, wow, my dream has always been to be on Saturday Night Live. I can make my own. Like I can do this from the comfort of my house. The only problem is I'm going to lose this apartment in 2 weeks. So I remember sitting on the couch and calling my mom, who is like the greatest person I've ever met. I'm so grateful that I have such a like wonderful mom that's helped me navigate this. And I remember sitting there going, Mom, I can't afford this, but everyone now knows me as the girl with this apartment. What do I do? And we talked there for hours. We budgeted things out. We looked at the savings that I had and we were like, I mean, do we risk it? Like, do you want to risk it? And she was like, it really just depends on if you want to bet on yourself. And I just remember that. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna, because every time I see a Forbes interview where some founder is sitting there, they're like, I'm so glad I bet on myself. And so I thought I'm gonna bet on myself. And I re-signed a lease that I couldn't afford. My ex-husband co-signed on it, like as a gift to me. Didn't pay for anything.
That is a very friendly divorce. That's a very friendly.
He's literally, I sing his praises because he's such a wonderful person. But he was like, listen, I'm not paying for this, but like, you need to afford this. And then I started posting 5 videos a day, every single day on every single platform. And I did that for a year and a half. Wow. And then within like a month, I could afford my apartment, which was absolutely insane. And now it's set me off on this career that I love more than anything I've ever done in my entire life.
I love the irony that the apartment tour video saved the apartment.
It literally did. That's the craziest part is like, I was about to say goodbye to that apartment. And the apartment had memories and like it was a beautiful apartment, but I wasn't attached to it. And then I signed this lease, and this apartment almost became like my initial identity. I was the girl that lived in that apartment, and people would stop me on the street and they'd be like, you're that girl from that apartment tour. And then it just over time morphed into like, you're Haley Bailey. And it's really cool to like see that happen live, and to, especially when you never thought it would. Like, I'm still in shock sometimes that like, this is what I get to do. And it's women who supported me and saw my initial videos, and they're the reason I'm here. So I'm very grateful.
How much was the lease a month?
It was really expensive. It was $17,000.
$17,000. Yeah, so that's a lot. That's a commitment.
It was really scary. And I only had the money that I had I had leftover stuff from college. And then I worked in an immunology lab after I graduated. I worked as a wedding dress consultant in a small, tiny wedding dress shop in Minnesota, which I'm still looking to find a person that like I helped them find their dress. I would love to sit down with them and like talk to them. So I had money saved up from modeling as well. You don't make much, but I had enough to cover a year. And I was like, well, I'm either going to be broke and on this, like with my parents, I'm going to be in my parents' house, or this is going to work. And yeah, it worked, which is crazy.
I love this story because there's two philosophies of kind of like you said, betting on yourself, and the idea of, burning the ships where there's no chance of retreat. Like you have to make it work.
Yes.
I've heard that a lot in entrepreneurship, which is great.
Yeah.
I've also heard the flip side in the creative space, creativity, whether you're an actor or a novelist or a creator, because sometimes it takes years to hit.
Years.
And when you're creating out of a financial need, it can be tricky, but it worked out for you. And you said, what's your opinion on that?
I think part of it is just luck. I do. I think part of it is timing, and also just like, I couldn't have gotten here without the support of other people. Other people seeing my video and liking it and engaging with it, and seeing my profile and being like, oh, I like her, or I like her videos, or I like her comedic style. If I didn't have that, I would never be here. So it's technically other people that really got me here and noticed the work I was putting in. But I'm a nerd. Like, I went to school for a tough subject. I was only ever studying. I was never a partier. I didn't even drink till I was 22. I was very focused. And so I took that approach in content. You have a dictionary, a Bible, a textbook of everything you could ever need to know about content on the internet. TikTok, YouTube, look at the most viral creators, look at what they're doing, look at their comedic style, read the comments, see what people vibe with, see what they don't, meet creators, collab. Like, there's so many opportunities to just learn what the way to film, learn the lighting, and it's all out there for you. You don't need to take a class. You don't need to go to school for it. I started watching every platform for at least an hour a day. I would scroll on every platform: YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikTok, and Snapchat Spotlight. I'd spend at least an hour, if not more, on every single one, so that I would learn the style each one spoke in. And then I just started applying that to my content.
That's wild, because I look at this stuff and I get so overwhelmed, right?
Yes.
There's so many different types of content. Each platform's different. Mm-hmm. And as you know, the trends change like lightning fast.
Yeah, in a day.
How did you do it? Because obviously you said your parents are engineers, you're trained in biology, and you have a science, logical mind.
Yeah.
How did you kind of cut through all the noise? And what advice would you have for someone who's looking at all these different things to kind of find that source code?
Yeah, it's funny because people, now that I'm a creator, they'll be like, you're so creative. I don't feel creative, which is crazy. I just feel analytical. Like, I look at data points and I say, okay, this is what's doing well. This is my comedic style. This is how I'm going to do it. This is the voice I want to use. And you kind of find your own like lane in it. But it is scary. When you first start, you're like, where do I even start? And I think that's why so many creators, when they first start, end up copying people or using others as inspo, because number one, they don't know that that's a bad thing. And number two, because you really don't know where to start. And I think just the more you create, you find your voice. I have friends that are so creative and they'll just like have this brilliant idea and they'll just run off and do it. I'm more analytical, so I need, to process a little longer. But I also just love brain rot. I'm chronically online and I speak it fluently. I don't know why my brain just works with it, but it just worked out.
Can you define to everyone listening and watching what brain rot is? Because I've heard this a lot and I'm trying to nail down like, what is that definition? Now there's like Italian brain rot with like all this different stuff. Yeah.
Me.
Here we go. You know
ballerina cappuccina. Brain rot. I forget I'm with Forbes. People probably don't know what brain rot is here. Brain rot is
we do. No, we don't.
If you have kids, you probably do. YouTube shorts like Shibbity Toilet is brain rot, or like
ironically, while I cover creators, my kids are off social media.
You're so smart for that. That's good parenting right there. Because
we're doing wait till 8, which is you wait until 8th grade to give kids phones.
That's really smart because there's a lot of crazy stuff on the internet. I know because I hopefully I don't make the crazy stuff. Hopefully I'm very parent approved, but there's crazy stuff on the internet. Yeah, brain rot is any of those things where if your kid is just randomly saying things, it's probably TikTok brain rot, an audio, a song, something a creator said that's really catchy. Like Brittany Broski has the funniest lines. Like, that's brain rot. What I make sometimes is brain rot. But it's fun brain rot, hopefully.
Why is it called? Is it brain rot because is it just like mental junk food?
Yeah, it's kind of like memes. You know how like memes are brain rot for like millennials, which the meme culture is still very much alive for Gen Z and Gen Alpha. They just are usually in video form or edit form. That's brain rot. It's just the stuff that like doesn't really teach you much, but will sit in your head and like almost feel like a worm, and you'll just hear it playing. Like, what the hell? What the helly? What the Halle Bailey? That's brain rot.
Okay.
Yep.
Is there a way to break down analytical brain rot, or is it pure viral where it's just like a lottery and people just make random stuff and some stuff sticks and other stuff just vanishes? Is there like is there a secret to brain rot?
I'm guessing there probably is. I don't think I've figured it out yet. Okay. I usually play off the brain rot that's already viral, but the creators that are making certain brain rot viral, like the Plankton, you probably have no idea there's a Plankton meme where he's like, and then everyone started using it for like when you touch a garbage can and there's like wet marks on it and they're like, no idea where somebody came up with that. Okay. No idea who made the meme, but now it lives on the internet forever with like billions of views. So no idea.
Crazy. With your kind of analytical mind, do you ever think about why the apartment tour went so viral? I mean, it's a beautiful apartment. You're a great host, but it wasn't like this is a $50 million castle in the sky kind of thing. Like, what do you think it was?
I think the apartment itself is very unique. Number one, people just love New York. I moved to New York because I was obsessed with New York. I mean, you grow up, especially from middle America, you're like, it's either New York or LA, and that's like your dream. And so my best friend and I, our dream was New York City. And so I think that the allure of New York is enough to get people interested in at least watching the video. And then on top of that, we hear so much about New York City apartments, right? We hear about the horror stories. We hear about the tiny ones. We hear about the massive ones. We hear about the brownstones. And a lot of people never get to see the inside glances into that unless it's like in Architectural Digest or something. So when a creator is going into these houses, it's fun. And it was also right almost at the beginning of Caleb Simpson's career as well. I think he was like 6 months in. So he was blowing up at the time and people were paying attention to him. And then also my apartment is just kind of quirky and fun. It's like it has a lot of old features to it because it's pre-war. Still has like the old elevator doors that my TV is on. It has the circle window. That's what everyone loved. I'm obsessed with Marvel and DC. So it had a lot of like action figures. I also have 3 cute dogs. So that probably helped. But it's just a quirky space. And it's really beautiful. Like it's just a really, really pretty apartment.
And so you signed this big lease.
Yeah.
You bet on yourself.
Terrified.
And then you started making 5 videos a day.
Yeah.
That just makes me like have like hives.
I still do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
You do 5 a day.
I do 5 a day.
I want to find out like how'd you get the ideas?
Yeah.
But then take me through like a Haley Bailey day in the life where like you wake up and you have to come up with ideas, shoot, edit. Like it's a lot of hustle. It's a lot of grind.
Yeah. My ADHD helps. And my love for the internet and internet culture. It started with Jenna Marbles, right? She kind of started a lot of comedic internet culture already. And like those early days of YouTube started a lot of what like I would watch that has now helped me in my career. But I just love to scroll. Like I'm just a user. I love it so much. Bedtime, phone time, where you're just sitting there, scroll. It's my favorite thing in the world.
What are your numbers?
I turned it off. I turned it off. I turned it off, which means it's probably like 12 or 13 hours a day. I mean, it's bad. Like if this wasn't my career, I would need to go to therapy because it would be a problem. But because it's my career, I'm like, oh, it's fine. This is what I do every day.
It's research.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. But the internet just has a culture and each app has a culture. And the more that you scroll, the more you like find that the part of that culture that like you can express creatively and the part that you fit into. And also the comments section is a really good place to spark ideas. Like if ideas don't come to you just naturally, like hanging out with your friends, which usually with comedic creators they do, because you'll be hanging out with your friends and something funny will happen and you'll write it in your notes like, oh, this would be a great video. But a lot of times it's the captions and the comments and different things that like tell you what people are thinking, what they identify with, and what maybe they would like to see comedically. So if you're a new time creator, always go to the comments. It's one of the best places to like spark an idea.
Your comments or other people's comments?
Other people's comments or your own. I mean, like
I'm saying you're like other people's pages and read the comments.
Yeah. Okay. Like go if you're watching on TikTok, they have a page where it shows all the viral videos a week. Just click in those and start reading the comments. There's a lot of times an idea that has to do with the original video that's like totally different that could really be pictured in video form, and it would be a wonderful video and it'd be super relatable and it'd be really funny. So if you're ever feeling that creative lull, other people will help you in the comments.
Take me through this day. What time do you get up?
Depends. I love sleeping. Yeah. I do love sleeping. I'm not even going to lie. I'm probably the only person doing a Forbes interview that like on a day that I can will sleep until like 10:30. I love sleeping.
Well, you're up all night scrolling. You're up all night scrolling.
4 in the morning though.
Yes.
That's the thing. My timing is shifted, which is funny because back when I was in school, my timing was the opposite. I would go into the hospital at 5 in the morning, do the morning shift for shadowing and volunteering, and then go to school. I like my schedule better now. I really like it. I'm a sleeper. But I'd say I wake up on a day with no events.
Yes.
On a day with no like red carpets or anything. I'd wake up. I love sleeping in. So whenever I naturally wake up, unless I have meetings, I schedule them all for the morning. Okay. Get my Zoom calls done in the morning, all my meetings. And then it's really off to the races. It's kind of like, what did I save? You know, in my brain, I have notes that I'll just write down in my phone that are almost chaotic. No one would have any idea what they mean. Sometimes I don't even know. I'm like, Haley, what were you saying here? Like, what is the video idea? And I just start filming. It's weird. I don't really script anything. I don't really storyboard it. I just kind of start filming and then I post live. I literally will just post it right after I'm done. I usually don't like wait on a video unless it's a celebrity collab or like a brand deal. I'm posting live usually. So I'm just kind of filming all day. I'll invite my friends over. We'll go do things and we'll film like at those things. It's really just it's me running around with my camera and my tripod and my friends.
And do you ever like not panic, but anxiety where like, okay, I have to do 5 videos and I'm coming up empty. There's nothing. Like, how do you battle that?
I think in the beginning, because I was so scared that like, number one, I couldn't afford my apartment. I really felt that pressure, but I drove through it. But I also had an arsenal of ideas in the beginning because I had never made videos before. So like every thought you've ever had for a video, you're like, oh, perfect. I've never done any of this, so I can do all of this. So it felt like I had unlimited ideas at that point. The more you do it, the more you're like, oh boy, I think I've done this idea like twice or 3 times. And you start having to really think more creatively. Maybe instead of like a 1-shot video, it's 2-shot. Then you get more complex with the editing. You start tying in like the TikTok culture or Instagram reel culture, or like you start collabing with other creators. But yeah, it's hard to stay motivated creatively sometimes. And I get in lulls all the time. That's normal. Don't be too hard on yourself. Creators are really hard on themselves when like you can't come up with an idea. There are times that now I don't stress it. I'll post once in a day or twice. I just hate taking days off because I enjoy it.
I know you have a big day at Forbes today. We're doing lots of media. Yes. Did you film today? Are you going to film and post today something?
Yep. I actually have a couple pre-filmed because I knew like we were starting this. It was early in the morning. It's a long day. I have to catch a flight after this. I feel so businessy.
I know. You're going to Hungary. You're doing the world
Crazy.
Travel.
It's wild.
When was this apartment video? What year?
October of 2022.
All right. So this is like less than 3 years ago.
Less than 3 years.
And you said you had like 500 followers.
I had, well, no, because modeling, it's actually funny. Okay. Sports Illustrated swimsuit, I gained followers, but they were usually all men.
Gotcha.
Which, if you're in content and you're a female creator, you know you usually don't want men following you. No offense, I love my men, but like usually they're going to be the ones that maybe say the mean stuff or like aren't the nicest in the comments section. Be nicer. So then when I started in content, I watched that number. I think I had like 95% men in my analytics with like maybe 150,000 followers on Instagram. Barely any on TikTok. I didn't even have a YouTube channel or a Snapchat. Those numbers switched. And that was the most reaffirming thing ever because I have always wanted like to be not cool, but like somebody that women really liked. Like I couldn't have done any of this without women being on my side. I'm a girl's girl. I love so that was just so cool to see, is watching those numbers switch and seeing like women start to fill my comment section being like, oh my gosh, I would love to be friends with you. Or like, you seem cool to hang out with. That hits so much better than like any comment from any man. No offense. I still love you guys, but yeah.
So how many combined followers do you have now?
I don't even know. 13.6 on TikTok, 7.4 on Instagram. YouTube is like 7 point something. And Snapchat, I don't know, a couple million.
Right, we'll call it about 30 million followers.
That's so scary.
That's incredible. In less than 3 years.
Yeah.
And you would say, would you say 90% of them are women?
I would say like when I first started, yes.
Okay.
Now, I mean, I also have a lot of people that follow me that are gay who I love so much. So I have a lot more men now.
Okay.
Because I think of the red carpets. Like, I think everyone's a fan of that. Like
Yes.
the glitz, the glamour. There's just so much to see there. So I'd say like 75% women.
Wow, incredible. And in terms of, you started doing these 5 a day.
Yeah.
When did it start taking off? Like, did it?
Right away.
Right away.
Yeah. I feel very, very grateful for that, because I have a lot of friends that have been in this industry for a long time. And like my friend Carter, he started when he was 13 doing long form YouTube videos. If anyone has ever made a long form YouTube video, those are the hardest things to make. You have to storyboard. You have to really like archive your shots. You have to know how to shoot, know how to edit. Like, he was doing that at 13. And later in life, he popped off. He's the one who deserved to pop off immediately. Yeah. But it's just different. And I think a lot of it's also the timing of what's happening culturally. If like you hit the right moment, if you don't. But I do think if you put out really good content and it consistently is good and you're consistent with posting it, you will have your moment. You will. Like, I really do believe that.
You said growing up you wanted to be in Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Which is incredible, because I looked at the stats. Like, your YouTube channel has like 7.5 million.
Yeah.
And you're a one-person show.
Yeah.
And then Saturday Night Live, their YouTube channel has 15 million. And that's they've been around for 50 years.
That's wild.
And stuff. So it's amazing that, like, you know, your popularity is just kind of a one-man band is, you know, up there.
See that
with them.
SNL? Call me.
There we go.
Hey, that plug.
Were you funny growing up? Were you a class clown? Were you doing theater stuff besides all your math and pageantry? Like, were you like, do people grow up like, oh, Haley's funny? Yeah. I think your stuff's really funny.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I was like a huge weirdo. Like, I was like the nerd. And my best friend was the same way. I've had the same best friend since we were 5 years old. So we have been like glued to the hip. She's a doctor. She lives in New York City, and she's in a lot of my videos. Her name's Lindsay. She's amazing. If you haven't heard of her, search her. She's incredible. But I was a huge nerd. Me and her were like almost like the outcasts of the school. If you look at old photos of me, which I post sometimes, you'll see I was like a super nerd. I was very outgoing, but almost in private, like amongst the people that I knew. So when I was little, I would do skits for my family. I would record like little fake commercials. I had like a fake talk show with my sister. I loved performing, but I wasn't the class clown because I was so scared of disobeying authority that I was like locked on the teacher, taking notes, like not saying anything. So I don't even know if people in my class they probably didn't even think anything of me. They were probably like, oh, I don't know anything about her. Because I definitely wasn't like loud and like vivacious in school or anything. I just kind of focused on my studies. But my parents used to say, Haley, you are our little Lucille Ball. And that's what they would call me growing up. So obviously my parents kind of knew, but I don't think anyone else really saw this becoming my career.
How would you describe your comedy and like your style of content? Like, if you're describing your feed to a stranger, like, oh, Haley Bailey, like she does X kind of content. Like, how would you describe this comedy?
It's like chronically online comedy or like relatable comedy. It's kind of just like, you know, a lot of people think that when I say I'm a comedian, they'll be like, oh, you do stand up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I would literally be terrified to do stand up because you're getting the reaction live. At least mine is through a screen. So mine is just kind of like, I love doing recreations, like of viral celebrity moments. I love doing quick comedy bits, kind of like what SNL does, but I can do them faster because I can do it on my phone. So if something culturally happens, I can do a video or a bit about it that same day versus like SNL might need to take a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I can do it right away. So a lot of it's like cultural moments. A lot of it's like red carpet stuff based around like White Lotus came out recently. I did a lot of content about that. Squid Games I've done content about. So it's really just like chronically online comedy content and relatable stuff.
How do you make, this being Forbes, how do you make money? What is the business of Haley Bailey?
So there are multiple ways to make money as a content creator. Number one is AdSense, which that's what I knew nothing about the brand deal side of this when I first started. So when I started posting 5 videos a day, when I started, I thought it was for ad revenue. So I always watched those YouTube videos of like, I have this many subscribers and this is how much I make on ad revenue. And I remember searching on YouTube, like every time I'd hit a thing, I'd be like, I have 100,000 subscribers and this many watch hours. How much money do you think I can make? Because I was just trying to see if I could ever afford to live in the apartment. And ad revenue is great. YouTube pays really well. Instagram is starting to pay really well. TikTok monetizes over a minute videos. So you'll get like ad revenue share of the ads run on your videos, basically is how it works. Snapchat also does it, but their system's a little different. So each platform has a different ad revenue system. Now, the flip side of the coin is brand deals. And brand deals are going to be where a brand comes to you, they say, hey, you're basically like a TV network at this point, the same way they'd run ads on Fox or they'd run ads, when you're watching TV or on Hulu or on YouTube. It's the same, but your page is going to be the place where their ad lives. So Maybelline might come to me and say, hey, do you like this mascara? That's always the first thing. And like, if you don't, do not take the brand deal, please, please. Even when you're first starting out and you're broke, do not take it. Like, only work with brands that you really know and love and actually use in your day-to-day life, because a 12-year-old could be buying that piece of makeup with their last amount of money, and like, you need to make sure it's good. Brand deals are fabulous. They're a really good way to make money, but they're also tricky because you have to work with brands that you really know and love. So those are kind of the 2 avenues. And then there's other things like speaking engagements you can do panels, things like that. But those are going to be like your bulk of the money that you make is going to be ad revenue, brand deals, and sometimes equity deals if you get lucky.
Tell me about some of the brands you've worked with.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I've worked with tons of L'Oreal brands like CeraVe, Maybelline, La Roche-Posay. I've worked with Samsung. I've worked with Taco Bell. I've worked with KFC. I've worked with, I've worked with, a ton of clothing things, Opali. My gosh. I probably won't even remember them all. I feel blessed to have worked with a lot of really, really cool brands. And
how do you work with the brands in terms of if KFC or Taco Bell or CeraVe come up to you and they say like, we want you to create content. Like, are they giving you a script? Are they saying, Haley, do your thing and just work your way into it? Like, or you come up with a concept? Like, what's the best way to work with brands?
Completely depends on the brand and completely depends on the creator. I think a lot of brands will tailor a brief to the creator, which is smart. I don't think they used to. Like, this is all new, right? Like, digital media is a very new field. So I think brands alongside creators are figuring it out together. So what I like to do is I always set an initial Zoom call. Well, first, even before that, if I haven't tried the product, we say, okay, I need to try it for at least a month. See if I like it. See if it's something that I would even integrate into the things that I do. If it's something that I will use every day and I love it so much, I will say yes to a brand deal as long as the creative fits. If it's something that maybe I wouldn't use every day or I wouldn't recommend to a friend, I'll just turn it down and maybe they'll find somebody else whose skin works better with it.
Or you're eating KFC for a full month.
Oh, I love KFC. No, that one I took right away. My DoorDash orders are insane. It's like KFC, Cinnabon, Haagen-Dazs. It's bad. No, I'm like a gold wrap turd. I look healthy. I'm not at all. I'm like, it's horrible. But then after that, I'll set an initial Zoom call with my management. We'll set who's somewhere over here? Hey, they'll set a Zoom call with the brand where we will talk over creative. They'll go through the deck where they'll say like, hey, these are the things about the product we want to showcase. Maybe they'll have specific lines they might want you to deliver. They might even have a concept for you. A lot of brands will do like the same concept amongst various creators that you see it done similarly, but a little different. I do comedy, so my stuff isn't your stereotypical, like, get ready with me where I might be able to just talk about a product. I have to integrate it in a way that is entertaining. And I'm not really great at just like talking to the camera. I prefer to do my own spin on it. So a lot of times I'll have ideas that I'll pitch to a brand even if they have a deck where they have a very specific creative. And we'll play around and try to see where we can meet in the middle, where my voice is still there, because if I'm advertising something, I want it to be in my voice so that I never feel like I'm lying to anybody. But then the brand is still getting what they want the audience to receive through my voice.
So cool. In terms of, your business, whether it's with brands, whether it's creative stuff, like, do you have any goals, anything you want to change? Because you're always evolving.
Yeah.
Everyone's always evolving. And again, you love skits, you love, pop culture, you want to be on SNL. Like, what do you see coming? And if we're sitting down and having this conversation in 2 years from now, what's Haley Bailey doing on a weekly basis?
I have no idea. And that's the fun of it. Like, there's a lot of people that use the creator pipeline to achieve, maybe they want like a book deal, they want to be an author, they want to be in film, they want to be a producer, they want to be a writer. There's so many different ways to channel the creator pipeline into like other careers or be a creator while doing something else. There's just so many possibilities. Entertainment is massive. For me, I really just love this. Like, I truly love creating short form media, digital content. Like, I love it. If I was doing this for the rest of my life, I would be happy. But whenever a new door opens, I'm the first to be like, what's down that? Like, my ADHD is like, what's down there? Is it fun? So film is something I would love to explore. I've been in a Lifetime Christmas movie. That was a huge bucket list thing.
Oh, nice. I missed it. What was your character?
So I was actually the wife of the main character's brother. So I had like a little supporting role, but my family watches those every single year. Like, I'm from Minnesota. We watch Hallmark and Lifetime Christmas movies. Those are our movies. And sort of being that was just cool because my whole family watched it for Christmas. And like, it was just a really big moment for me because it was a goal that I had growing up. But I feel like I would love to own a product. I think that that's a newer goal of mine. I didn't feel confident enough being like somebody that could make something amazing, and also being responsible for something that people spend money on, right? Like, that's terrifying. What if it's not good? What if it's not up to par? What if it doesn't turn out the way you want? They're big investments. But I think the older I get, the more I invite those challenges into my life. And so that's an area I'd like to explore. But
what would it be? What are you thinking? What's on your phone notes for
I want like
Haley's brand?
I want like Prime, but like girl based, like more
Prime, like Prime and drink?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But like for women, like one that women can feel comfortable drinking. Yeah, something like that would be really cool.
Very cool. When you were doing the Lifetime, you're so used to like the run and gun style.
Yeah.
What was that like going from, your one person operation to like you're on a Lifetime studio set?
Oh, that was crazy. I was terrified. Movies are really hard. Acting is very hard. You always think you can do it. When you watch something, you're I could do that so easily. We all have that in our brain where like you're watching the Olympics gymnastics and you're like, I could probably do that. You can't do it. Acting is so hard. It was terrifying. There are 100 people, 50 people on set watching you. There are big screens that you can't see, but everyone's watching. And you also need to remember lines. And on top of that, you need to remember to act normal. And then on top of that, you need to remember to play off your other person in the scene. And if they forget lines, you need to. It's so hard, but it's really, really fun. And I'm grateful to Lifetime for being so patient with me. They were such a beautiful place to start because they were more like family and chill. And they were like, if you need to run it again. Or they would give like helpful tips. The director would help like calm you because you're shaky. Like they say action and you're like, I just blanked all my lines. And another thing about acting that a lot of people don't know is they shoot that scene 8,000 times from 18 different views. So any emotional scene that you see in like a movie, that actor has probably had to cry like that like 20 times in a row. So the fact that they're able to do that is just massively impressive. And I don't think they get enough like credit for what they actually do. Acting is really hard, but it is something that I would love to learn and one day be really good at.
Like last question, kind of talking about that, the old school way of doing it.
Yeah.
What can like kind of traditional brands like a Forbes, like a Saturday Night Live, what could these media brands that have been around forever learn from creators like yourself? I
think number one, start partnering with creators. I mean, SNL is such a wonderful concept because it took comedians, like comedians that it was like a group of friends that were comedians and stand-up comedians. That's how they'd find people for SNL and match them with A-listers. That was like one of the first times that you saw like these people that you almost saw as like normal people. I hate those categories, but like somebody that wasn't as known with somebody that everyone knew. making comedy together. Start integrating content creators. I mean, the younger generations, like Gen Z a little bit and Gen Alpha especially, content creators are their Hollywood. So I would love to see the integration of like the digital media scene with traditional media, because I think you're just going to, number one, you're going to get more views, which companies love to hear. Number two, you're going to hit a younger audience. Like Gen Alpha is going to love seeing Olivia Rodrigo with their favorite creator on SNL working with other people that already worked on SNL. So I'd say just be more open to digital media. It's new, it's scary, yes. Creators seem a little unhinged. I promise we're not as unhinged as we seem on our profiles. I think that it's going to be very beneficial for traditional media to start just kind of pairing up with digital media and seeing where that leads us. So that would be my one piece of advice, would be use the creator space. We are dying to work with traditional media. Like SNL, use me for anything, anytime. Like I would love nothing more than that opportunity. So you're going to have a lot of young, creative minds willing to work hard, and they have tons of people watching them every single day. Use it.
Haley Bailey, thanks for collaborating with Forbes. We appreciate it. This was awesome.
And thank you for collaborating with me. I'm stoked. This is amazing.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much.
Of course. Thank you.